I have a lock and hide script that is a little bit more complicated than the one that I just wrote with you. Mine uses a thing called a checkbox group, and I wanted to show you that briefly in case anybody here has a little more scripting experience and would like to try something a little bit more complicated. You're not under any obligation. I want each of you to have a window that can lock and unlock. I think that's going to be really handy for you. This window gives me a little more control because it lets me separate out X, Y, and Z, so I can do a little bit more fine-tuning with my locking and unlocking. To make the checkbox group, I'm running the command checkbox group. My first flag is number of checkboxes. I'm using 3. I've got a label. This one is translate, then I've got one for rotate, and I've got one for scale. The label array, 3, is for X, Y, and Z, and each checkbox also gets a name. My checkbox group T, my checkbox group R, my checkbox group S. Then I've got another checkbox that I'm using for visibility. You can see that I've got 2 buttons. I've got a lock and an unlock. These buttons also have names. What I have to do next is set up a procedure that will check to see if the checkboxes are locked or unlocked, and that does get a little bit more complicated, but trust me, it's not undoable. Finally, I do have to write separate procedures for X, Y, and Z, but each of them is only 1 line long. Then I repeat the procedure, all of it, for if the checkboxes are unlocked. This way, Maya is going to check the boxes. If they're checked, it does one thing. If they're unchecked, it does another. If you do want to try this script, go ahead. I think that I've scrolled through it and stopped in enough key places that you can probably copy my text. Again, don't feel obligated. You can just hand in the script that you wrote with the buttons that you made before. This is if you're interested in more advanced scripting and you want to write a window that looks a little bit prettier. This is also so that when I pull up my lock and hide channel window, you're not all sitting there stumped and saying, why does it look different from mine? Now you know, it takes the same fundamentals that we just used and applies them to a slightly more complicated principle using checkbox groups. This is mostly food for thought, so take a minute, think it over. If you decide you do want to try writing the script, go for it. See how you do. And if you don't, that's okay. Hand in your lock and hide script just the way you had it, and that is totally fine.